So you must work out. The t-shirt is bombarding your ski pad, bombarding me nicely. That's what happens when you work out, guys. You must take care of your body. But anyway, welcome back to Switcher South Africa. I'm Nicky Nash, as always, in proud collaboration with Change Cars. And today, you guys join me inside the Land Rover Defender. I've been looking forward to testing this vehicle, and I finally have the opportunity to test it. So I'm going to tell you every single thing you need to know about this vehicle, from the exterior look of the vehicle, interior look of the vehicle, and overall drive, and cost of ownership, and weather. I asked the question in the XC90 video if I'd take the Defender over the likes of the X5 or the XC90 itself, because they do compete. So yeah, I'll be answering those questions for you. So starting off with the exterior look of the vehicle, I think the Defender is a vehicle that doesn't need to be said about the exterior, because if you don't like the exterior look of a Defender, you are the problem. Because the Defender looks amazing. It's a very good looking vehicle. I like every angle of it, from the front, back, side, up, down, left, right. I love the Defender. So I'm inside the 130. What is the 130? The 130 is the long wheelbase version of the Defender. So you get the 90, which is the two-door. I'm sure you have seen it here and there. But the ones that you guys see normally on the road is the 110. So that's the one that is popular, the 110. And before I got this one, I would say the 110 is the one to go for, and I'll tell you why. And then you get the 130. So I'll say the 110 because the 130, for me, looks ugly because it's quite long, right? But this 110 doesn't look ugly because it doesn't look as long as a normal 130. So this is the Outbound one. So this is the more off-road focus. You get these all-terrain tires. Then you get this lovely, we call it scuffing. As a black person, if you know what a scuffing is, I think everybody knows what a scuffing is. A container on the side, you get that, and that part makes it look like this car's not long, because without that scuffing, the car looks quite long. You can see that it's actually a quite long vehicle. So this one has this scuffing. It has these lovely roof rails on top, so it makes the car look like a 110. So Sibua, we actually went to see Sibua when I had this vehicle. He thought this was the 110, and actually it isn't. This is the 130. So it looks good because of the fitted things on the outside. The 130 is ugly without all these exterior features. So if you're going to get a 130, get it with these lovely stuff on the exterior, because the car looks beautiful. And yeah, I think I've changed my mind. Give me the 130 spec exactly like this. Obviously, just upgrade the sound system, and I'm gonna speak about when I say upgrade the sound system. But that's with regards to the exterior look of the vehicle. You get 20-inch alloy wheels with all-terrain tires. But other than that, I think you guys know how a Defender looks. You don't need to be told much about it. Like I said, if you don't like it, you are the problem. Now moving on to the interior. When you jump into the interior of the Defender, you greeted by Land Rover's design in terms of how they've moved away from the rotary dial gear selector. You get those quantum style gear selector. So you'll be seeing through the overplay videos that it looks like a quantum. It reminds me of a quantum. Then you get a lovely digital instrument cluster, same one that you get in the Range Rover Sport that we tested last day. Click the pop-up banner or the link in the description box below to go to that video. Lovely touchscreen infotainment system, gets the job done. But I still love the fact that they've given you buttons and for the climate control. I don't have to faff around the infotainment system for the climate control. So that's a good thing. The only thing that you will faff around the infotainment system, the climate control, is when you're directing where you want the air, whether you want it to your face, to your feet. That's the only thing. But in terms of the temperature and the speed, it's all found in the rotary dials down here next to the gear selector. So speaking about the exterior, something that I don't like is how open the cabin or the center console is. So you get a lot of storage, but it's quite open, and then you get so I don't like that. I wish it was a bit closed off. Would have been much better in my books. Would have been much better, but not too mad at it. Yeah, I can live with it. Then you get a glove compartment over here, by the armrest, and it's a fridge as well. So it's just like the Range Rover Sport. You get a fridge. You should be seeing overplay videos where I put 4 Powerades. That's how much you can fit in there. So it's a quite nice space, and being in the interior of the vehicle. So the people that have gotten into that are blessed enough to be inside the Defender when I had it, they saw these screws on the doors and on the center console, and they said, why don't they cover it? And I immediately answered, because it just makes sense. Because remember, a Land Rover is not luxurious, right? It's not Land Rover's luxurious product. If you want luxury from Land Rover, go Range Rover. Land Rover, this car is made for off-roading and all those stuff. So I think as much as the car is quite luxurious, they're trying to fit in the off-roadiness of things by keeping it a bit old school. That's why you can see these screws on the side. I feel like it's a design thing more than anything. It's a design thing. I personally, because I understand why they're doing it, I like it. If these screws were like in the Range Rover, then I'd be like, okay, why Land Rover, I guess, doing that? But because the Defender, off-road vehicle, off-road focused, all that stuff, 100%. And this one's actually, I think this is Land Rover's most capable product. I stand to be corrected, but I'm sure this is the Land Rover's most capable product, the Defender, hence the name, the Defender. So it's a very off-road focused vehicle, but it's on the luxury side of things, you know. So the interior feeling is quite good, decent space where I am. The second row of seats, ample space. Ample space. So now, this being the 130, I'm sure you guys expect me to say the third row of seats. Well, this specific one is not spec'd with 2 extra seats at the back, making it a 7-seater. This one just has a massive boot space. Am I mad that it's not spec'd with the 2 seats at the back? Honestly, well, I don't have a family or anything like that, so I'm not really mad at it. But for someone that, if you know you're a family of 5 or a family of, let's just say 6, you have 2 kids, say you're married, you have 4 kids, then definitely get the Land Rover 130 with the extra seats. And then if you want space, obviously just put it on the roof or get a trailer or something. But I think that, yeah, you'll work your way around that. But if you just love a Defender, you know, so a lot of people that love a Defender go for the Defender 90, and I'm not really a fan of the 2-door version of a Defender. And if you really love a Defender, you don't have a big family, or even if you do have a big family but you can afford various other cars, you have family cars and all that, then definitely for me, get the 130 without the extra seats at the back. You know, that's just my personal opinion. But yeah, I think the seats would do good at the back, but the specific one is not spec'd with those seats there at the back. So that's with regards to the interior. Two things before I actually forget. So this has the spare wheel of this vehicle is on the back of the vehicle. You guys know that. So when you're reversing, it shows you a yellow line and a red line. The red line is actually where the spare wheel starts. So when you're reversing, once you get to the red line, that's where the spare wheel is, so you need to stop. So it's a bit confusing when you're used to reversing normal cars and you get into a Land Rover Defender and then you find that there's like an extra wheel which is making the car a bit longer. So yeah, sometimes you're gonna find yourself misjudging certain things. I've almost misjudged a couple of times, but you get used to it. If it's a vehicle, you get used to it. You just need to make sure you're looking at the camera and not looking at like on the sides, like the body of the vehicle, because you're gonna forget that you have what do you call this, the spare wheel at the back. And if you're driving with your camera instead of an actual rear view mirror, you're going to forget that you have a spare wheel at the back. So right now I've been driving it with the camera. It has a camera as a rear view mirror, and you can put it as a mirror as well. But I prefer using the camera, much more clearer. I can see everything behind me at a wide angle as well. You should be seeing through the overplay videos. And the second thing that I do not like, and I think I need to emphasize it, is if you are buying a Land Rover Defender, first thing you need to do before you forget about speccing everything else, please spec a sound system. Please upgrade. I don't care if it's 200,000 rand, 100,000 rand sound system, upgrade it. Otherwise, you're gonna hate your vehicle. So this one is a Meridian sound system. Comes standard. It's the base sound system. You can opt for obviously a higher spec one, but for me, mind you, so I jumped out of the XC90, which had a Bowers and Wilkins sound system, which actually blew my mind. And then I jumped into an A200D, right? Then from an A200D, which had the advanced Mercedes-Benz sound system, which is actually quite good for the vehicle, I jumped into this. I expected the sound system to bang, you know? As much as the Range Rover Sport 1 sound system wasn't the best of the best, I expected it to bang. I knew it wouldn't bang like the XC90. But when I got into this vehicle, I was actually quite disappointed with the sound system. It made me dislike the vehicle so much, to a point where I have the Land Rover Defender and the A200 simultaneously. I have them both now. Like, I have the A200 parked at home. I started enjoying driving the A200 because of the sound system. Sound-wise, the A200, I was enjoying it over the Defender because, man, the sound system, the standard sound system, definitely isn't the one. And you know, if I'm emphasizing on sound system like this, you definitely should know that something is wrong with the sound system. and yeah, I'm not really a fan of the sound system, so definitely upgrade, and hopefully the upgraded sound system is actually upgraded. So Land Rover, that's your biggest flaw in the Defender, the sound system. Biggest flaw. Now let's go on to the driver's vehicle, and actually something that I forgot to tell you with the Defender and some of the exterior. The front, the windshield has this glare that adjusts to the sunlight. So sometimes it will be glaring purple, green. So that helps you in terms of the UV lights, so that it's not as bright as it should be here in the vehicle. Protect your eyes and all that stuff. So quite fancy, looks quite good. So let's move on to the drive vehicle, then we'll do cost of ownership. So the driver of the Land Rover Defender. So this one is powered by a 3-liter turbo petrol engine, which produces 292 kilowatts and 550 newton meters of torque. So firstly, foot flat. Don't get me wrong, it sounds good, but it's not really going anywhere. So I pulled from 40. That screaming and all that drama just took the car just under 80. So as much as it's not going, it has the power, don't get me wrong, it has the power, but it's not going anywhere fast. Rightfully so. You don't need to go too fast in the vehicle this big, right? My biggest problem with this engine, well, yes, is that it tries too much. And then it's on the heavy side of things in terms of fuel efficiency. So currently I'm averaging 14.6 liters to the 100. I have been trying my best to drive it comfortably. I've been popping it into eco. I even just got tired of putting it in eco because it was not doing any difference. I've been averaging 14 liters. I've done just over 300 Ks. I am sitting on half a tank. So on one tank, you'll do 600 Ks. I know some of you guys will be saying, but that's not bad, Nikki. Wow, 600 Ks is not bad. How much it will cost you to fill it up? One, remember that. Easily 2,000 rand to fill this car up. One. Two, it's a Defender. It's something that you don't daily. You don't drive to the mall and back, work and back. You do long distance trip. So if I'm doing a long distance trip and I can't, for example, if I'm going to PE, for example, let's say, well, I think PE is just over 1,000 Ks. I can't get to PE. I have to stop and pour. And then when I get to PE, I must pour again. You see, now it's making things a bit, for something that's meant for an adventurous drive, you're gonna go to all these fancy places. You're gonna go out of town, far away from petrol stations. That's something you need to consider. So hence I say this petrol engine, definitely not the one to go for in the Land Rover Defender. Get a diesel. The V8, if you want a V8, you just want the V8. Honestly, there is a V8 in this form. If you want a V8, you just want a V8. But for the day-to-day, for a more sensible buy, spec with every single thing, and the diesel engine. This engine, I love it. It sounds good. Don't get me wrong. I've enjoyed it. But as an ownership, I wouldn't. For me personally, it doesn't make sense. Now, moving on to the price of the vehicle. Well, the Land Rover Defender 130 Outbound, which is the one I'm in, starts at 1.9 million rand. And options wise, this specific one is spec'd out with, I think, options of worth 157,000 rand, which brings the total cost of this specific one that I'm in to 2.1, just over 2.1 million rand. So if you take that and you finance it over a period of 5 years using Change Cars, which recommends netback vehicle finance at an interest rate of 12.25% over a period of 60 months, you're looking at paying 46,900 rand. Hey, fit such monthly prices. So if you have businesses and all that, and you can afford to take, well, it won't be a hit, but you can afford to pay that amount of money, definitely go for it. If you can buy it cash, that might just be a better option. Then do it. Then do so. Buy it cash. But the question now is: this car worth the 2.1 million rand? I personally, 100%, I do think it is worth the 2.1 million rand. Would I spend 2.1 million rand on a Defender? 100%. So now, because I've driven the competition, well, the XC90 and the GLE, would I take this over a GLE? Yes, I think I would. Would I take this over XC90? Yes, I would, as long as I upgrade the sound system. Yes, I would. As long as I upgrade the sound system, definitely, yes, I would. Would I recommend anyone to get a Defender? If you know what you're getting yourself into, 100%, but please get it with the diesel, not with this engine. But yeah, I think I've told you every single thing you need to know about the Land Rover Defender. I hope you guys did like the content. And from City South Africa, I'm Nicky Nash in proud collaboration with Change Cars. If there's anything you'd like to know about the Land Rover Defender, hit me up. I'll tell you, or comment down below. Tell me actually where you spend your 2.1 million rand. You have 2.9 million rand given, sponsored by Nikki. Where are you spending it? On what vehicle? That competes with the Defender, by the way. Nothing else. So don't tell me you're going to buy 3 Chinese cars. Tell me where you're going to spend your money. So, as always, I'll see you in the next one. I'm signing out.